This is the first presentation in a series of podcasts on transitions into and out of work.
For example, becoming unemployed or retiring relate to well-being. Well-being measures how people feel about their lives, their own report of how things are going, and the well-being measures used in the studies in this review include life satisfaction, assessments of mental health, and self-esteem. Our focus in this presentation will be on a systematic review of 49 studies that provide the best possible evidence on the impact of unemployment on well-being. Our review is based on published evidence from countries that are similar to the UK, and the evidence base comes mainly from large nationally representative surveys. In this review, we want to separate out the impact of unemployment on well-being from any effects that may work in the opposite direction. For example, those with lower well-being may find it more difficult to get a job. The high-quality studies in this review use longitudinal data or sophisticated statistical techniques, which means it is possible to conclude that losing a job causes a drop in well-being rather than simply showing a link or a correlation. Of course, we know that people who lose their jobs lose their incomes, and so in that sense will be worse off. But here we're asking about the broader effects of unemployment, the impact on the well-being of those who lose their jobs and their families. And also, by a thorough review of the evidence, we'll also establish whether there are any mitigating factors which can reduce the damaging effects of unemployment. Overall, our review provided evidence that unemployment is one of the most important factors affecting individual well-being, with negative impacts going beyond the effect on income. When measuring life satisfaction on a 0 to 10 scale, the unemployed report life satisfaction that is about 0.5 points lower than those who are in employment. However, the effects are different for different groups in different contexts. In terms of the confidence that we have on the findings in this review, they can be classified as strong, where we're confident that there is an impact on the stated group and in that context, promising, where we need to investigate further, and initial, where there may be an effect and we certainly feel that more research is needed. So what evidence did we find? Unemployment is damaging to people's well-being regardless of their age, gender, level of education, ethnicity, or part of the country in which they live. And the longer that they are unemployed, the worse the effect. People do not adapt to unemployment. Unlike the impact of many other life events, their well-being is permanently reduced. But it does affect people differently. For men, the impact of unemployment on well-being is greater than it is for women, and the effect is greater the longer the spell of unemployment. Similarly, the well-being effect of unemployment is greater for young people, particularly if the spell of unemployment is longer. And unemployment not only affects the well-being of the person who lost their job, it also reduces the well-being of their spouses, particularly female spouses. So taking as an example the evidence provided in the study by Lucas et al., Unemployment Alters the Life Satisfaction, we can see here, before the spell of unemployment, that well-being is higher, above 0 at 0.1 or 0.2, that there's a big drop in well-being on becoming unemployed, and that seems to start before the spell of unemployment. Once people are unemployed, there is a bit of a recovery in well-being, but it never reaches the pre-employment level. It remains below 0. Next, looking at what mitigates the damaging effect of unemployment, we certainly find some evidence that those who can rely on social support from friends or family suffer less from unemployment, that those who live in areas where there is high unemployment, there may be less social stigma associated with unemployment, and they suffer less from unemployment. It's also the case that some personality types may suffer less. Extroverts may suffer less, while those who are conscientious may suffer more from a job loss. Those with skill sets that are more adaptable may suffer less from unemployment, And there's a little bit of evidence to suggest that participating in social activities, including voluntary work, may also mitigate the effect of unemployment. We've provided a summary of our findings relating to unemployment and well-being, and we cover the questions of whether re-employment may help, and also the big topic of whether retirement impacts on well-being in further podcasts.